Of all the maintenance of way machines used on the railroads, none are more fascinating or fearsome as the Loram Rail Grinder. On May 3rd, 2019, the rail grinder came through town with a fiery vengeance, but this wasn't our first encounter with the steel centipede. That was back in May of 2017 when we made our trip to Altoona. The Loram Rail Grinder was cooling its heels in the Crescent Helper facility. Unknown to us at this time, it was making its way in our direction. On June 26th, the grinder came up the line with the almost as impressive switch grinder not far behind. Neither machine did any work on the line. They were both transient through the area on their ways to Binghamton, New York. Where they went from there is a question I can't answer. Okay folks, we're here on the Sunbury line looking south at about milepost 671 and a half. I don't know if you can hear, but there we go. We got the rail grinder coming up. I've been waiting 2 hours on this thing. And waiting is what I do a lot of in rail fanning. In fact, me and train watching have an odd sort of relationship. When I'm early, I'll be waiting for a long time, but when I'm a minute or two late, I'll be watching whatever I was after shrinking off into the distance. The delay today was caused by the Delaware-Lackawanna DL3 that was working down at Taylor. Once the train and the crew got into the clear at Steamtown, the line was clear so the Holocaust could begin. If you've ever seen one of these machines in action, then you know that they're a force to be reckoned with. The grinder operated with an evil hiss while it rained hellfire on any vegetation unfortunate enough to be growing between the rails. As my regular viewers know, I'll usually show both sides of this overpass when showcasing trains, especially when a machine like this blazes its way up the line. Unfortunately, I forgot to hit the record button on the video camera. But I made it up to you though, literally. I was simmering down for the evening when I heard on the radio that the K82 Taylor to Binghamton turn was getting ready to leave town. K82 is a night train that is rarely seen on the main line during daylight, so with over an hour of workable daylight left in the 24 hours, I hurried to get trackside. This move was a costly one for me as I got a flat tire getting there. Nonetheless, with less than 5 minutes to spare, I made it to the tracks with just enough time to get my camera out. Making sure that I pushed record this time, I caught my first ever K82 moving northward out of town, and in daylight. This was also the first train to run over this portion of the line since the Rail Grinder's firestorm earlier in the afternoon, so you can hear the eerie hum the steel wheels are making as they glide over the freshly ground rail. That was my first ever K82 coming out of Taylor. In the 3 years that NS has taken over this track, that is the first time that I've ever seen this train moving northbound out of Scranton. The engineer was Val Miller. I don't know if you caught him waving to me. Me and him go way back. We've been friends now for more than 10 years. Okay, that was the first train to run over these tracks since the Rail Grinder this afternoon. So let's take a look at how the tracks look. By the way, did you hear that hum that the wheels were making over the rails? Let's take a look here. There you go. That's freshly ground rail for you, rail fans. Freshly ground rail. Ground about 6 hours ago, if that. And that was train K82 heading north to Binghamton, New York. That's the Taylor local. Well, sort of. Kind of the Taylor local. Let's take a look at the other side. There you go. Freshly ground rail. Man, that was nice. I'll tell you what though, he had a short train. Not a whole lot of intermodal. Usually, you might have 50 well cars of intermodal coming out of Taylor.